watching this and the Queer Ultimatum side by side, I'm like, this is what the theory of the ultimatum is supposed to be.
Welcome back to the Fade to Black podcast. I am your host, Imani, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sunflower B. Rose. But today we have a guest on the episode. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Yvette, and I am just excited to be here with the homies.
Yes, I'm also very excited. All right. And today we are talking about the 1996 film, The Preacher's Wife.
My name's Dudley, as you remember, and I'm an angel.
We know you love it.
Yeah, he knows it too. That's the problem. He knows I'll always be there, just like a pet.
She used to go on stage and torch the place down, boy. Now she just sings for the Lord.
That's your trouble right there. So you don't believe in much of anything anymore, do you, Henry? You don't believe in me. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you can make a difference anymore. You don't even believe that Billy Eldridge is innocent. You remember when you asked me what you do when the flame between two people goes out?
Yes.
The answer is you don't let it.
Merry Christmas, Dudley.
Merry Christmas to you too, Jeremiah.
All right. So to start us off, how would you describe this film? We always say the easiest way to think about this is you're in a bar and you want to tell your homie about this movie that they've never seen before. What do you say? Either one of you.
I'll start. Mm-hmm. I would just say that it is about a preacher who lost his faith, who lost his hope, and needed a supernatural encounter to turn things around. And that's what he got here.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And Sunflower, do you want to go ahead and give us the rundown on the plot so we're all on the same page?
Yeah, essentially, there's a preacher and his wife. They got the whole family. We open up on like church and Sunday service. But as the choir is singing, then you start to see like the little tensions building between him and his wife, as like she's just trying to support him by adding some pizzazz with the choir. And he's just like, woman, how dare you, by giving her all these looks like I am doing fine by myself. But clearly he is not doing fine. And so he asked God for some help, just some support, because also like his son's best friend is about to get sent to foster care.
Hakeem.
And the youth center is closing. And so he's like, I am overwhelmed. And so God sends him Denzel Washington, in angel form. And Denzel is just like some guy who died maybe like 30 years ago and applied to be a guardian angel and just got his final stamp of approval. So he is back on earth for the first time, here to help the preacher. And then adventure ensues as he like tries to insert himself into his life. And of course, this man doesn't necessarily want him there, but he's just still going to keep showing up. And so he appears at his house, and that's where he meets Whitney Houston and Loretta Devine and Jennifer, who all play like the wife, the secretary, and the wife's mother. And they kind of just like take Denzel in and accept him as the help that the church needs. They assume that he is from the church council, and he just rolls with it. Yes. And that's where he starts making googly eyes at Whitney Houston. Who wouldn't? But
how can you not? How can you not?
Issue. It becomes a plot point. And so then the preacher also comes home, and he's upset to see Denzel there, and he tries to send him away. But Denzel's not going to leave. And so he does start to give him some tasks to do. So then the preacher's like, fine, I will go out and try to help this young man who is being framed for a robbery right now.
Yes.
And you go take my wife on dates. You go be there to pick up my son from his ice skating practices and take them out to ice cream sundaes. You buy his Christmas presents for him, actually. So I can have forced conversations with my wife. And so Denzel just starts to like pick up his father and husband duties so this man can fulfill his preacher, social worker duties. But eventually, once he starts to see how his wife is falling for Denzel and accepting all the support and how much his son is also being impacted by Denzel's presence, he realizes that these are things that he should be doing. And he starts to step up for himself. And once he accepts his role as father, husband, and preacher, then that's where Denzel starts to disappear. But also, side plot, there is a rich man in the background who is trying to like build this mega church in a rich neighborhood and like add a whole daycare and senior center, and he's gotten the whole community on board. But in the meantime, he wants to destroy the church as is. And the preacher inherited this church from Whitney Houston's father. He is also kind of indebted to this family, and that is attention in their marriage as well. But he just brings a man to church, and that convinces him that he shouldn't do this. And Denzel leaves. Everybody's carries along, and that's the preacher's wife.
Yes, a holiday movie has to be wrapped up by the end. We have to have a happy ending for sure. Even with all the googly eyes going around, it was like Whitney and Denzel could never be together. This is a holiday movie. We cannot break up the family on Christmas, especially not take the preacher's wife. And
also, because what kind of life would this be? Just an angel on earth forever? Like, does he age? Now we got to introduce ghost rules.
Yeah, exactly. What does he age? So what were, I guess, your first impressions of this film? Like, have you seen this film before we watched it for this podcast?
I'll jump in on this one because I've seen this movie so many times before, and I will tell you that I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that Denzel was falling in love with the preacher's wife, and that pissed me off every single time. Like, if somebody said, "Come on, let's watch the preacher's wife," I'm like, "No, it doesn't make sense. No, we're not watching that. Why is this man falling in love with the wife when he's supposed to be helping to fix the family?" And so it wasn't until this time and the conversations that surrounded me watching it this time that I finally saw that, hey, he as an angel coming down to earth was also God's way of allowing him to have a fulfillment in his life that he most likely had never fallen in love before. And this was also an opportunity for him. So I saw that in a different way this time, because I'm telling you, I never liked this movie because of that. And now I'm like looking at it from a whole new perspective and saying, oh yeah, God is good. He let Denzel come down and Dudley come down and have a love experience also. So I kind of like it a little bit more now. Exactly. Yes. So my first impression in my new impression.
That's lovely. Love it. Sunny, how about you? What was your first? Was this your first time, and what were your first impressions?
Yeah, this was my first time watching it all the way through. It's like I have seen clips of this movie just like on TV in the background, but I've never seen beginning to end. So that's where I realized that Denzel came in the form of the preacher's prayer, which I thought was hilarious because I'm like, you asked for this, sir. You put this on yourself. And also where I got to hear the rules of how this thing works. So like he can't do anything that his person is supposed to be doing. He can't make him do anything that he doesn't want to do. And when he disappears, then everybody forgets what happens, but they still keep the memory and the lessons that were learned. Which is that's the most curious of all the the rules for me.
But except for that innocent child that got to remember.
Yes.
Yes.
Because also we were talking about that as we're watching this. Because me and my mom watched this together. And because it feels like there always has to be like a witness to some kind of miracles, like how could you say a tree makes a noise if nobody saw it? And it's like, because it does. But if the children were there to tell the story, but who believes the children? Who believes the marginalized? And so I just thought that was a really cool layer. And also watching this and the Queer Ultimatum side by side, I'm like, this is what the theory of the ultimatum is supposed to be. You know, like,
yes,
you are in your relationship. It's already on the rocks. Whitney, I think, was already questioning things. And then Denzel comes. He also gets to have an authentic relationship with her because, yes, he didn't get to experience love. He never got married. He never had kids. He's just tasting pizza for the first time in 3 decades, he says. So of course, I've heard Whitney Houston sing to you. He's like, I would love to know what love sounds like. And he's like, and I've heard it today. My life is complete. I have... where else do I need to sign? I'm committing. And Whitney's like, I too can see this life for us easily. But Denzel, but Denzel's like, I have to go. I can't. God doesn't want me here, actually. But she got to have that so that way her husband could also check in and be like, hey, yo, my wife could really leave me for Denzel. Like, this is
wake you up.
Yes, and I just pushed him to her. And so, I'm just like, it all makes sense. It makes sense to me how we came to be.
Yes.
So I liked it.
Okay, yes, I love it. I'm like, this is definitely one of those movies that like we have always watched every single year for Christmas. This is like a Christmas staple for me. Mm-hmm. I love The Preacher's Wife, and I love this kind of scandalous like love triangle that's going on in the church on Christmas. It's like, oh my goodness. And I think that the fact that it is Denzel and it is Whitney like makes it, I think it lends a lot of empathy to the characters, just because it's like, I know for me, I'm like, I love Whitney Houston. I think that also fuels my love for this movie. It's my love for Nippy. But it's just like you hear her sing and you're like, oh my gosh, like how could he not fall in love with her? Wake up, Courtney B. Vance.
Please.
But please. But this film is directed by Penny Marshall, who was a white woman, most known as Laverne and Laverne and Shirley. She also directed the movie Big with Forrest Gump. She did like Riding in Cars with Boys with Drew Barrymore. And then this movie has 2 white men screenwriters, Nat Malden and Alan Scott. So my question for you is, do you think this is a black film? And if you don't, like, why not? Like, you know, totally understandable. But would you consider this a black film?
I think... Go ahead. You go.
No, go ahead. If you got your thought, go ahead.
I want to say yes, because in our definition of black, it could be like centering black characters, uplifting black stories. And so even though it is written and forged by white people, it is like an all black cast. I think the only white person I saw was White Santa, who was standing next to Black Santa, which I thought was questionable. That's the only time I remember writing something down about white people.
There was the white lady at the end. The producer or somebody with the filming at the sermon.
Who's running the production.
Oh yeah. And she was so weird too, because I'm like, girl, you don't just sit
Where'd
down
you come
and chill
from?
out.
Yeah.
She was doing
He's going off script. It's church. Like, the script is a guide. It should usually be bullet points, truthfully.
She running out the church.
Yes, and even dude in the band was like, girl, I think he's doing fine. Are you listening?
Yes.
So besides the 3 white people, I'm like, it still felt like a very black story. The black people did their thing. Their existences are what we are taking away from the film. Yeah. I think it's black.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I agree. And this is also a remake of a 1947 film called The Bishop's Wife, which is like an all white cast. And in turn, it's also based off a 1928 novel of the same name. So this is like the 3rd iteration of this story. But just a little background about it was this film is produced by Denzel. It was produced through his production company, Muddy Lane Entertainment. And when talking about this film, he said, I'm happy to know that on a film like Devil in a Blue Dress, we put 100 or so many black people to work. And it was the same with The Preacher's Wife. And it will be the same with the other films I'm involved in, whether I'm a producer level or not. We do it because they're capable and because nobody else is necessarily looking out for them. So on this production as well, it's like they hired like so many Black people in costuming, you know, the crew. So it's like, yeah, Penny Marshall was directing it, but she was also just kind of like the director in the room. And that was really it. There's a video of Denzel talking about like some of the church scenes when they're all singing. And like, you know, Whitney is going off up there and people are catching the ghost in the pulpit. And apparently like Penny Marshall's like, cut. And ain't nobody listening to her because we are in a church service. And Denzel had to tell her like, girl, like, consider yourself lucky.
Right, this is real. This is real church.
This is real. Like, consider yourself lucky to even like be a witness of this. You know, this is a once in a lifetime moment. You know, you got Whitney up here tearing the house down. And this is also just a very stacked cast. Like we have Whitney Houston, we have Denzel Washington, Loretta Devon, Jennifer Lewis, Lionel Richie, Gregory Hines. It's like, this is a stacked movie. It's stacked. So it's like, you know, I agree. I think this is a Black film, you know, even though there's like white people in the room. It was made for us, with a lot of us involved in making it. So like, you know, shout out. So I was going to already ask, but what do you think, what is the message of this film? What do you think this film is about at its core? Is it about Christmas?
I think that it's about faith and love, because Courtney, the preacher, had everything that he needed, right? He was a preacher. So by definition, he's supposed to have faith. He's supposed to have love. He's supposed to have trust. But being all wrapped up in the human condition that we find ourselves, he became more consumed with perfection, or more consumed with, you know, am I doing this right? Am I making an impact, without truly relying on his faith? And so, you know, when he found himself in trouble because he noticed that his wife was trying to help him with the sermon. He was like, wait a minute, why do you keep doing this? Do I need this help? No, I don't think I do. But then he had to come to that realization, yeah, I need some help. So here's my wife trying to, you know, make sure that my sermon goes off okay or whatever. So that's when he went to go pray, right? But then even after he prayed, and even when help came his way, he still didn't believe it. He didn't trust it. So he didn't have that faith. And it wasn't until all of these other things happened, where the conditions changed, where his wife was paying attention to someone else. Someone else was paying attention to her. His child was being cared for by someone else. All of his duties. He gave the keys to this man to say, go be my wife's husband and take over what's happening here.
Yeah.
And so even when he didn't even trust, like when he was supposed to be saving the young boy from the court situation, he knew that it was his duty to help, but he didn't believe it. So he didn't even believe in what he was doing. And so all of those things had to turn around, where he had to actually, you know, remember, it is love that has gotten me this far. And all of those life conditions, I still have to surrender to God and trust him, and know that these things are going to happen. And I'm witnessing that they have already been a part of my life. And everything that I need is already here, and I need to embrace it, and I need to live into it again. And so that's when I believe, you know, him and his wife rekindled, when they was falling around in the snow and all that kind of stuff. But you have to, sometimes you have to lose everything, or be at the brink of losing everything, before you can realize what your blessings are and be able to appreciate them, and then live into them so that they continue to grow.
Yes. And I agree. And I'm like, Courtney B. Vance. Yeah. I'm like, because he is, there is so much that he's going through. It's like the church needs a new boiler. The church itself the building is falling apart, and they don't have the money to pay for it. He said, like, you know, attendance is down. So they don't have as much money. There is like, they're in a you know, quote unquote crime riddled neighborhood. So there is a lot of crime around, where we see that he is called in to testify on the behalf of this young boy. He was accused of a robbery that he's not a part of. And you're right. Like, he doesn't even believe it at first, that the guy is really innocent, until like Dudley tells him, like, you know, you got to really look somebody in their eye to know if they're telling the truth. And
that they even had to show us, so that way we knew it was true too.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Because otherwise we could have made our own judgments as well.
Yes, exactly. You have Gregory Hines, who is this local councilman running for office and essentially wants to gentrify the neighborhood, the community, and like through the guise of like, well, let me give you all this money so you can build a daycare and a community center, but it all comes at a price. And then the moment Courtney B. Vance is like, no, he's like, well, I own the mortgage anyway, so I'm gonna put a mall in a parking lot there. And you're like, oh my gosh, dude, like this is crazy. So it is like there's so much. Then he's falling behind in his dad duties. His son Jeremiah, his best friend Hakeem is getting taken by the state. Like he's not fulfilling his husband duties. His wife feels alone, even as much work as she's trying to do. Yeah. He's not really seeing it and taking offense. Like that sermon that he's doing at the beginning is technically not even his sermon. That was her dad's sermon. Wow. And so when she recognizes that that's her dad's sermon, that's when she's like trying to boost it up a little bit. But I think that also speaks to like, that's how much he doesn't believe in himself as the preacher, is that he isn't confident in writing his own sermon. He's pulling some old ones in. So it is just like, you can see that this man is overwhelmed. Like this man is clearly very, very overwhelmed. And so, yes, we have like Dudley in here who is trying to remind him, of his faith. Like as overwhelmed as you feel, like you're still forgetting to like lean on the Lord. Yeah. And not have to carry so much by yourself. So I guess, do you feel like this is like a film that is trying to say a lot about church and religion, or are you feeling like it's more of just like the standard holiday film, like, we got to learn our lesson, feel good?
Well, I feel like the holiday Christmas is rooted in Christianity and church. And so I feel like to make it a Christmas movie, it kind of does have to have like some of those religious themes in it. Even though like, I guess maybe that's where I'm thinking this is the difference between like a Christmas movie and like a holiday movie. Cause I'm like, if we just in Winter Wonderland, then it's like, we could just put the tree in the background and see what happens. But if it's like, no, y'all, like, we want you to find God at the end of this. Like if Denzel is sitting here telling Penny Marshall, we're having church, please sit down. I think that's the purpose. And, they're like, this will be in the room. It will be in the words, in the audiences. It's the takeaway. I do think that is. And that's why Denzel can't stay with Whitney, because he's just here just to show her what's possible, to show them all what's possible, and to leave, and to know for himself that he could have done this. Like he would have been a good father and husband, and so therefore he can go into the next person's life and give them adequate advice because it worked. But also, please don't fall for them. And God will clap back and let you know when you are right and wrong.
Yes, God was, and I think that's again, like God was constantly like, we would hear the thunder roar a little bit anytime Dudley was looking a little too hard at Whitney. Like, hey, this is not what you here for. Stay on task. Is this a film that you would add to, I guess, I know, Yvette, you were saying previously you didn't really care for this movie, but like after this viewing, like, would y'all add this to your annual holiday watch list? Is this a holiday feel good for you now?
For me, I think yes, and I will go back to whether I think it's a religious movie or a like a holiday movie, and I vote for it just being a holiday movie, not religion, because it's not promoting a particular religion. I think that for me, the message was more love. And yes, Christianity is rooted in love, and that's what the message is. But I feel like if someone didn't believe in Jesus or didn't believe in the birth of Christ, that was, their savior, that still this message still pulled this movie pulled off that messaging that, you still have to trust in the people that are there for you, your situations that are there for you, and have that faith, and then things will work out. So, yes, because now it has the essence of Christmas in it, even though that wasn't really a big part of it. I mean, for me, honestly, it wasn't really a Christmas story.
It could have been any time of the year.
It's a good holiday movie, yeah. I'll add it.
And I agree. I think it is more about the, like, you can look at it through this religious frame, but also if you aren't religious, it's also just about like community and like leaning into like those around you and those who want to help. And that, like there's so many people who want to help you and care about you if you let them in. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be God and Jesus. What about you, Sunny? Is this an add to your holiday watch list, or are you good?
I would add it. Especially this year, I felt like we were going through like such a wide variety of Christmas movies or holiday films, and I just wanted to look for all Black things. And so I'm like, I would definitely add Preacher's Wife to my Black holiday watch list.
Yeah, it's a wonderful soundtrack. I mean, just to listen to it, it's like, oh my gosh. And also, this soundtrack for this film is considered the best-selling gospel album of all time. It sold 6 million copies worldwide. Yeah, 6 times platinum. So it's just like, if you just want to hear some good Christmas music, some good singing.
Yeah, Jeremiah at the very beginning where he's like, I'll go to sleep if you sing to me. And I'm like, I too would ask Whitney Houston to sing to me every night if she was my mother.
Yes, absolutely. What are some of the...
Just thinking about that song, I Love the Lord. Right, which is awesome, right? Which is anytime that comes on the radio, I'm like, oh my goodness. But again, I wouldn't tie that to, that came from a Christmas movie. You see what I'm saying? So that messaging, that just like made that more concrete for me. It was like, I love this film and I love the soundtrack, but it's not necessarily tied to holiday or Christmas for me.
Because it truly could have been any time of the year.
We did not have to be Christmas. Shout out. Can we just talk about this moment where Lionel Richie is trying to pull Whitney Houston up on stage? She's like, I forgot the song. I don't know the words. It's like, girl, in 2 seconds, if you don't stumble once, then there was no need for any of this drama. You don't know the words. Come on, Whitney. Go ahead, sing the song beautifully.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like in that moment, like how is Denzel not supposed to fall in love with her? It's like Courtney B. Vance. Exactly. Why did you send this man on the date? It's like Whitney came down. They were supposed to go on this date originally. Whitney Houston comes down the stairs looking like Whitney. And you're like, I can't tonight. Dudley, you do it. And it's just like, are you crazy? And then they go to the jazz club and she sings this beautiful song, I Still Believe in You and Me. I Still Believe in Love. It's like, I know every time that me and Dominique watch it, like we were both just sitting there tearing up, like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful.
And you can see Denzel's eyes. I mean, you could just see it right there. That's when, because in the beginning of the movie, he was not in love with her. And it was at that moment when she was singing that song that he fell in love with her. You could just see the change come across his face.
We all fall in love with her. I'm like, again, that's why we're like, Dudley, like I see, but you can't, Dudley, it's not right. But I understand. I may not condone it, but I understand, Dudley. I mean, that's definitely a high point. And, shout out to Lionel Richie. For the longest, I didn't even recognize that as Lionel Richie, to be quite honest. It wasn't until I was like looking at the cast list and I was like, oh my gosh, that is Lionel. It's like the goatee and the shorter hair. Yeah. He had me fooled. I had no idea that was him. What are some other, like, I guess really high points of this film? I love that, like, Hakeem gets adopted at the end and isn't lost to the state. It's like, that is I'm worried about him the whole movie.
But to me, I thought that was something that was more obvious to me, that family would have adopted him right up front versus allowing the state to take him. If you're the preacher's right across the street from this house, this person is your son's best friend. He's been intimately involved with y'all's family all this time. If he had so much influence in the community, helping people get out of court situations, et cetera, why wasn't that the first thought? And I think that for the preacher to take him into his house, and I think that is a part of him being overwhelmed, not seeing what is it right in front of him. It took all of that time of separation and suffering. It is suffering for him to come to that realization. Oh yeah, this child needs to be in my home because we love him just as our son, and our kid has prayed for a brother. So what did he want for Christmas? A brother. Y'all should have said right there. Here you go.
You're right.
We're gonna save our
I didn't even catch that, but you're right. He did. The little boy said all he wanted was a brother.
Yeah. I was like, that was also one of the first things I wrote down, because I was just like, I'm confused. Like, he said he went to half the foster care systems in the state to just find out if he can get him closer to them. And I'm just like, well,
get him
just
in
put
your
him
house.
in your house.
Because I know
Courtney
they were
is checked out.
qualified. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say another high point for me is Denzel changing his face on
the photo.
Yes. That's one of those moments where I'm like, Denzel, please. And even God was like, hey, that's too much. He's about to zap you up right now if you don't start acting correct. But I'm just like, man, what could have been? Denzel and Whitney. I want to spin off when she dies and goes to heaven before Courtney Vance.
Reconnects with Dudley.
Yes, and now the two of them are just going off and giving
that's
advice. I want that preacher's wife.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this movie makes it. I feel it had to be Whitney and it had to be Denzel because otherwise, I'm not rooting for these characters. I'm like. No, Dudley, you're a bad angel. But it's like, I feel you. I feel both of y'all. I get it.
Whitney, I too would want to be with Denzel. Denzel, you should also want to be with Whitney. Courtney, why are you tripping? It's Denzel and Whitney.
It's Denzel. And why did you tell your wife to go on a date with Denzel? This is the Boondocks Usher episode all over again. Why?
And then when she come home, he mad, sitting in the dark like, oh, not everybody up is sleeping. It's like, then why weren't you out? He's like, you took her to our spot.
And if anything, he should have went down to Jazzy's and found them, you know?
And
why you sitting there waiting for your
exactly.
wife to come home? It's too late. If she did something, it's too late. You sit there waiting.
What did you do?
Looking for you should. Once you realize you should have got in your car. Go find them. Where y'all at?
Where y'all at? And then y'all sitting at the table. You proposed that. It's just like whoa. Yeah, that was not. That was definitely not the move.
Food. And I understand, but you could have sent Denzel to serve food.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
He gave up the things that he could have done, the important things he gave to Denzel, and where the things that still needed to be done, when you have some assistance, those are the things that you hand off, that you delegate and say, here, you go do this, you go feed these people, you go make these deliveries, because my family has to be the priority.
Yeah. And even Denzel points that out when like Courtney, after they return from the jazz club, and Denzel's like, look, it's not me. You had these problems with or without me. It's not me. Like, you need to clock back in. You need to clock back into this marriage.
And if anything, you lucky she followed for me, because I'ma disappear.
Right.
Because if she was gonna look for somebody else, she'd be gone.
True.
Yes. Yeah, truly. Yeah, truly. Even at the end when like Denzel is saying goodbye, it's like the hope on her face. It's like, oh, you're leaving? Like she's just like, yeah, take me with you. It's up until the very end. It's like, yeah, no, you lucky it was Denzel Dudley the angel.
Yeah.
Because
but she also
Whitney was ready to go.
She also had a good black mother that said, hey, you better watch yourself. Remember
She
who
did.
you are.
But
remember
also,
where you are, and remember what the situation is. Don't start tripping.
Yes, Jennifer Lewis was the voice of reason. It's like, hey girl,
Come back.
I know it's Denzel, but remember,
but that's where I think Jennifer is actually the voice of God, because I've been like, I don't know, you're right. He hasn't been paying attention to you. I saw the way that he just like looked at you in the church.
No.
That man sounds like he wants to take care of you, your child. He sounds like he's doing just fine.
No, Mama had faith. Mama knows what the real story is. So thank God for a black mother that knows.
Truly. And she even was taking time out to even talk to Dudley, like, hey,
yes.
You need to watch it. You need to watch it as well. And he found himself, well, you need to stop smoking. It's like, that's all you got. Yeah, that's all you got. And then like at the end, that last handhold, and she goes in the house like, girl, I just quit smoking. Like,
I quit smoking. I was like, she just had a cigarette. What's going on? What?
She just threw it. She was
Just like disgusted.
Yes.
I was like, that's what hypnosis is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Dudley out here helping. He out here helping everybody. That scene where he goes and talks to the councilman, Gregory Hines' character, and is in his house, like, making the piano play by itself, making the unplugged radio that don't work, turn on, just to check his gentrifying. Because it is like, you're trying to gentrify this neighborhood, dude. Like, openly. You're not even hiding it. You're like, I want to tear this down. I'm going to build all this stuff up and y'all can get going, but he's really after did you catch like why, I guess, Gregory Hines' character at first is like trying so hard to get Courtney B. Vance's endorsement?
I think he just wanted to have the recognition for himself, like to build himself up in the community. And also, to make money off of their church, because he was the owner of the church that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what else you got? You must have something else deep in there.
Oh, yeah. It was like, it was the endorsement. It was, once again, showing how big of how influential Courtney B. Vance is in his neighborhood. Because if he gets the preacher's endorsement, then he's going to get that whole voting block.
Gotcha.
So it's like, if I don't get your endorsement, then I'm not going to get these voters. But in the end, he even said, like, I don't even need their votes. Like, I was just trying to be nice, which is like, who is this man? Like, where is your heart, dude? It's Christmas and this is how you coming out. Like, you threatening the preacher at Christmas, talking about, I'm gonna take your church, I own it. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Your heart already in your pocket.
Why do you think I'm the board member of a church I don't attend? It's like,
good questions, actually. Why are you the board member of a church you don't attend?
Yeah, I'm just like, man, this dude was such a political Scrooge, trying to ruin everyone's holiday. Even the fact that this dude got to announce that the church is closing on Christmas. I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all, where's your heart, Gregory? I'm glad it grew 3 times that day. In the pulpit. Thanks to Dudley.
I feel like he would have been there to celebrate the ending of the church if it wasn't for Dudley's appearance the night before.
Yes. Yes. Which is truly what Dudley should have. It's like, this was the task that Dudley should have. It's like at the end, we're seeing, okay, Dudley should have been on like this church front this whole time instead of like take care of my wife front, like you were saying, Yvette, like he should have been the one out here like, delivering these fruit baskets so that Courtney B. Vance can take care of his family and pay attention to what's going on in his personal life. Dudley could have been doing all of these things, but we do see Dudley like improving, helping everyone's life like bit by bit. I love the scene with him when he first meets Loretta Devon, and she's like, "Are you my replacement?"
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah, just she's been just going through so much, and then here's this man who may be taking your job.
But also, no, he wasn't. He's like, I'm just here to help. And she's like, you're here to take my job. You are here. She's like, my babies need doctor's appointments. She's like, I already can't make ends meet. And it's just like, girl, slow down. Because he's trying to tell you that's not what's happening. But she's already spiraling. She's like, you're lying.
You're lying. I know the truth. I know the truth. Yeah.
And then the end, he helps her too. And she's got the love of her life and have security with a husband and family that's coming her way. So all she had to do is trust and believe and wait too.
I love that Loretta Devine is always a love interest. And she always gets her man. And it's always just from some cute little walk away. She do some.
She does. I'm like, she does always get her man in the end. The previous year of this movie was Waiting to Excel, which is like, again, we got Whitney, we got Loretta, Gregory Hines, a lot of the same people in that movie. And I love that about the 90s, right? It's like anytime you turn on like a 90s Black film, it's going to be a cast of characters that have already like worked together in so many other films. And I always think that adds so much to their chemistry because I think you can see like they're comfortable. They're willing to like play with each other on camera.
When I took like a TV and film producing class, they said that was like one of the things that you should think about when putting together a film. Is like, how do you build the team? It's good if you are looking at people's like previous histories and being like, oh, well, like if they already did this, then let's put them together. Maybe if I call this person, then I can lock this person in. Or this person just really wanted to work with that person. And so now if I can get them on the project, then this will happen. But if I can't, then the whole thing's done.
Yeah. And I'm like, we need more of that, definitely. But we need more Black films in order for that to happen.
And shout out to
sure.
To Denzel for producing the whole thing and
making
like,
it happen.
Active presence. Yeah.
Yes,
like,
producer Denzel. Yes.
We need more distributors. We need more like, not necessarily conglomerates, but also like, like somebody needs to own a station. Somebody needs to own like a TV channel, because I think there's like 4 people who own everything.
Yeah. I mean, a few months ago, I think it was like last year, the Hollywood Reporter wrote an article, or maybe it was Variety. It was one of the two. It was either Hollywood Reporter or Variety. Had an article, saying that like Hollywood is missing out on like billions with a B of dollars by not making more television and films like for Black audiences and for audiences of color. And they know this, like they know that it was like 30 billion. It was a crazy number. And it's like, yeah, you're missing out on all of this films, all of this money, Hollywood, simply because you aren't investing in TV and film for Black people and other people of color. It's like Sinners came out earlier this year, and it made, I think they said it made $365 million, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like, that's so crazy. But it's like, no, like Black people want to see Black things. Like, we're always going to support and show up. It's like, and this happens every single time like a Black film gets released. And then, of course, like Black people run it up, and it's like, oh my gosh, like who would have known? It's like, why not?
And because especially the critics at the very beginning are just like, oh, they're doing like numbers, but it's not going to last. And so it's like they're trying to tear it down before it even got somewhere. And so I think like Black people also often work in spite. So it's like, oh, you think we not going to go see some vampires? Bet I'm going to go watch vampires. I'm going to show up in theaters with my fangs out. Like, and then double down and invest. Like Ryan Coogler's making money. Throw all them dollars in Ryan Coogler's pockets. I'm truly rooting for everybody Black all the time.
And more Black people need to understand that power. So just like with the boycotts of like, these stores, Target and Walmart, et cetera, right? And then you got some Black people that are saying, oh, me participating or not participating isn't going to make a difference. But when we can, share these numbers and share what our impact really is, then we truly can have a bigger impact because people are more aware of it. And I know that people try to make this information known, but for some reason we have to have these conversations, intimate conversations with people every single day, because the mass media isn't giving enough information where people can believe it, because we don't trust what is being put out there. So all of these
rightfully
news,
so.
So these good news statistics have to be shared more often, and we got to get it in front of people so that we do truly know our impact on the economy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Denzel was saying during the making of this movie, and I guess in Devil in a Blue Dress, which I know is on our list, is that, when you have Black people on that producer level, the ability to hire so many other Black people in different, it's more than just the cast. I don't know what the numbers on like the original Color Purple is, but it's like, how diverse was that film crew? I would have to look into that. But, it's like this film, even if we have a white director, even if we have this 2 white screenwriters, it's like, Denzel and his company ensured that like we are, not just on camera, being seen on the screen, that we're, also in other places, which, really matters. Again, that idea of like leading to our community, y'all, this is a movie about community.
Shout out to Denzel.
Shout out to Denzel. Shout out to the Washingtons. The whole Malcolm Washington. What's the young one? Malcolm is the young one. Shout out to John David Washington. Shout out to his daughter. If you saw I'm a Virgo, his daughter is in that. She's a wonderful actress. Shout out to her. I think her name is like Olivia Washington. And then I know his oldest daughter is a producer, and so she is producing. So it's like all 4 of his kids are involved in show business.
And didn't they all work on like one show together? Was it a
piano lesson?
Okay.
Yeah, so they just the August Wilson play Piano Lesson was adapted into a film last year, which is currently, I didn't know it, but Netflix that's their plan. They're going to make all of August Wilson's plays in the Pittsburgh cycle into film. So that's why we already have like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. We have Piano Lesson. We have Fences.
Wasn't Denzel behind this as well?
I was like, so is this his idea?
Yeah. So yes, this is part of his production company is doing this. Okay. And then now that all of his kids are in Hollywood, that's why like all of his kids have are so hands-on with this. But yeah, I was like, Piano Lesson was directed by his youngest son, Malcolm Washington, and John David Washington was in it. But I don't think his daughters. It was Danielle Deadweiler. So I'm like, yeah, no, shout out to that. Love August Wilson as well.
Also, go talk to the Art and Theater, because I'm like, that's also been their mission, is to like complete all of the August Wilson plays. I think they've only got like 2 or 3 more. So I'm like, go pick some actors.
Yeah.
Some creative teams. They're all there.
They're all there for sure. And then I want to ask also, so this was, even if it isn't necessarily hinged on the holidays, on Christmas, what makes a good Christmas film to you guys? What makes a good holiday film? What are these ingredients that you're like, no, this is what it's all of the quality films. This is what they have.
I think a level of transformation, that when you can see something actually change for the better, right? So if it's a situation of despair, and like you said, for a Christmas movie, it has to have a good ending. They can't leave the people in poverty and be like, oh yeah, well, they'll figure it out. It has to be that good ending, and it also has to be something that is believable. So for me, it is still believable, so even if we don't have an understanding of somebody being an angel, of it being a supernatural angel that is coming down, it is still the situation of there had to be a change in the conditions of your mind in order for that transformation to happen. And so so no matter how it plays out, because we probably do encounter angels on a regular basis, but we don't know it because we're losing that memory, right? And so, but it's that transformation. It's that transformation. Okay, well, this was my mindset. Something happened. This supernatural thing happened. I can explain it, but that is the blessing of having faith and having trust and believing and having hope. And I think that is what makes a Christmas movie for me, is knowing that your faith and your hope is real, and it does have meaning and can be transformative.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And I almost want to build on that, because sometimes I feel like the reverse also happens, where sometimes you could accidentally be chosen to be somebody's angel and you don't know. Like, just thinking about like the story of I think it's like the beggar who ends up being Jesus, but like you would have never known until he revealed himself. And it's the way that you interacted with him is how you should have been interacting with anybody in case they were somebody special. You should be treating everybody in that way. And so kind of like being tasked with, I feel like holiday movies do put like a magical communal spirit in the air, that even if somebody is going through it, this is just the day that somebody's like, fuck it, get in the car, if you need a ride home, I'll take you there, or I'll just listen to your story, I'll give you those $2 extra. And so it just feels like a spirit of community, of love, of unity. Like everybody just kind of agrees to have peace for this like 2-3 days, at least a good 48 hours. And just like, bond with each other. So I think that's like an element that I look for. It's just like a uniting of the people.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, I agree. Like, especially this idea of transformation, because it's like, yeah, you have movies like The Christmas Carol, right? You have like Scrooge going from like this greedy man to, at the end, he's literally throwing money out his window to his community. Or even like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's like he's going from everyone is like, you weirdo, to like everyone's like, oh, we love Rudolph, you know? Oh my gosh. Movie like Elf. It's like he thinks he's a real elf and then can't do anything. And to the end, he realizes like, no, it's about like what's in my heart, and like helping people. So definitely like, yeah, this idea of transformation, definitely community, that wake up, like there's people around you. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, happy ending. I think music is always a requirement for a good holiday movie for me. I want to hear a song. Yeah. At least one. And a good one, something I can take away. I guess like charity, being kind. Absolutely.
I don't need snow, but I do like to see a little like twinkle somewhere, something shiny.
Yeah. Yeah, something
I like that
shiny.
tinsel exists in space.
Did these characters feel relatable? Did they feel realistic? It is a Christmas movie, so I feel like there's always a layer of like, no, they're not the most realistic. But did they feel relatable? Like, were you like?
This question takes me back to whether or not this was a Black film. In that impact, because I think it was a Black story, but I also think that it was a little softer than reality. You know what I mean? Like, so even when the family where the young man got arrested, falsely arrested or whatever, and then his mom was just like, it was just too soft for it. It wasn't realistic. Yes. And even when he came home, Bobby's back, Bobby. It would have been so much more than that. And so, like even church, yes, church was good, but it was still tampered a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe, hearing you say that, Penny Marshall did like stop it at one point, maybe she did halt the Holy Spirit that I think could have been more obvious or more evident. So yeah, yes, relatable, but a little tampered as far as like the realism of it.
It's funny because I also was thinking of that question, but in the opposite vein, where I was like, if you didn't tell me that white people wrote this story, I wouldn't have known, because it did feel realistic to me in the way that people like responded to each other, the way that their stories unfolded. The only thing that just didn't make sense is the adoption or the idea that he's. But I was about to say the idea that. The preacher is more focused on church work than his family. But I guess I'm like, that's his dilemma. That is his actual issue. So I'm like, I'm not mad at that part. Mostly just the adoption. I will say that's my biggest red flag.
Yeah. And I think too, part of the reason he is so focused on his church work is the fact that like this was his wife's dad's church first. So I think he feels like a lot of more obligation to make sure that this like church is up and running, rather than like if he were not like married to, the preacher's daughter. I don't think that he would have, not that he wouldn't have cared as much, but I don't think he would have sacrificed his personal life as much. And I think that was part of it too. Like, you know what this church is, so you should understand why I'm more absent and more focused on this. Like, you want your dad's church to close, I do think that was like part of the reason why he was like just so adamant on trying to keep it running, is because it was in his wife's family for so long.
I'm like, but I know like the disrespect of his actual wife, though, because I'm like, him shutting her up by putting his actual hands on her mouth. Like, she made him hot chocolate and he just walks away, doesn't acknowledge. Like, no, I don't want it. Gone. I'm like, why? What? Whitney Houston is standing in front of you,
giving you hot chocolate.
Why? What is going on? that's where I'm so confused. I don't understand how he snapped around that fast. Because I'm like, do you not like her?
Yeah, I do think they're like trying to. I think it's like, I call it the Halle Berry effect, where it's like you're trying to like ignore that this is like a stunningly beautiful woman, and pretend like, yeah, she's just like normal. Yeah. But it's like, if you hired Whitney Houston to play this role, then I mean, you can only suspend my disbelief so far. You can only suspend it so far. And I do think too that like, it's like Whitney Houston didn't want to take this role. Like she had to get talked into it.
Oh wow.
Interesting. By her mother.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, her mom was in it.
And also, we were talking about the fact that she always has like a controlling mother over her.
Does.
So I'm just like,
she does. I feel like Sissy Houston probably was, was a bit controlling. For sure.
She did it in this movie too.
Yeah,
she's like, why do we have to separate the parts? We all been singing the same thing, and it's like, girl, can we listen to it first before you complain? Is that fine with you? Okay. So just like, her mom gets 3 lines and it's controlling Whitney.
For sure. I'm like, Waiting to Excel gives us, he's a good man, Savannah. I'm like, she absolutely.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too.
She absolutely does have a controlling mom in every movie. But she had to be talked into it because she said she just didn't see herself as this preacher's wife type woman. And I think it is because too, like, she is someone who like grew up in the church. Like Whitney Houston was a church girl through and through. And so I think it's because she like knew what it meant to be a preacher's wife. It was like, I'm Whitney Houston, I'm not a preacher's wife. But she like they said that she had to read the script a couple more times and like talk to Denzel, and they eventually like convinced her that she was she was right for this role. She did not want to take it.
And if anything, it's like, no, but girl, that's what we trying to say is that like, you not the preacher's like, you are, but you're not.
Yes, exactly. And I do think they're trying to like humanize like this church family, this preacher and his wife and the mother-in-law. I think they're trying to humanize them more. Even like Loretta Devine's character being like, I have these 3 kids, I'm just trying to raise them by myself. I think it is trying to say like, look at all the different types of people here in this church. Look at the different types of problems that they have in their life, and no one is necessarily like shaming them. Like, I mean, Loretta feels like she needs a man, but no one is like, Loretta, you need to get you a man, girl. Like, no one is necessarily shaming her for that. It's like Whitney got this, she's emotionally cheating with Denzel, but we're not hearing like, this is the things you need to be doing as his wife. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not assigning roles to her. So we are allowing like these people to just kind of like be human and make mistakes and figure it out for sure. And I think that's all I really got for y'all today. I'm like, thank you. I'm so glad like we got to watch this film. I love this movie. I watch this movie every single year. It's one of my favorite Christmas soundtracks. I did not know it was the best-selling gospel album of all time. I was like, oh wow. Understood. I believe it. The second best-selling is Aretha Franklin's Amazing Grace, which is beautiful. They recently, after Aretha died, that album, when she recorded it live, like at a church in LA. And they had people like in the pulpit while she sang, and they had filmed it. But apparently this is in the 70s, I guess the sound and the video got like ruined or messed up or something. And so like years later, like 2018, 2019, they were able, I guess because of technology, to fix it. And so they like made it into like a documentary, and then Aretha blocked it for a long time, and then she died, and they were like, okay, she's dead, so we're going to release it now.
But it's on TV. I just saw that recently. I was going to say, I thought I just saw that. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Tubi. I do recommend it because it's Aretha is she always got her good voice on, but she got her good voice on.
Yeah.
And also just like watching it too, it's like you see her go in this trance while she sings. It's like she's like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Like she sings these beautiful songs, and then when she stops, you literally like see her like come out of it. And you kind of saw that with Whitney. I'm like, one thing with Whitney is like she doesn't, they record all of their vocals in studio. But still, when she is performing, I mean, she is not halfway singing. Like, she is singing with her full chest. She's getting her sweaty upper lip going.
Yeah. Signature.
Yeah. I'm like, no, Whitney is really, if you were an extra in this movie,
you heard Whitney Houston.
You was hearing Whitney sing. Yeah. And a lot of the extras of this movie were people who attended this, because they did film in a church. They filmed in a Methodist church in New Jersey. And so the production team they renovated the church for the film, because they also had to make it look more like a Baptist church. So they put in, apparently Methodist churches and Baptist churches have like different types of like railings and stuff, so they had to like put all that in. They actually did put in a new boiler for the church.
Oh, awesome. Good.
They actually did put in a new boiler for the church, but then there were all kinds of production problems with this film as well. People died. Yeah, it was like, because of where it was like in a real like quote unquote crime riddled neighborhood. So there was just like crime around, and people did die. Apparently at one point, like a building nearby caught on fire. And like one of the production people had to run over there with a ladder and ended up saving like a 4-year-old child. Wow. But some other children also did like pass in the fire as well. There was one woman who, because it was like there was lots of snow, as you can see. There were like snowstorms, and there was like an older woman who fell and broke her hip and then like later died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, so this production had a lot of issues because of the snow. At one point though, like during that ice skating scene, it got too warm. And so the lake started to melt a little bit and the snow started to melt. So then they had to bring in like ice machines and snow machines. So I'm like, this production had a lot of issues. It took a lot to make it happen. But yeah, like they had a lot of problems while making it. Just crazy. They had to like move locations because of the crime at one point. So yeah, so much happened to make this Christmas movie, which is like unbelievable. You wouldn't think that all that would have happened for this film, but yeah.
Reemphasizing that good things are going to come if you're doing the work.
Yeah.
And also like, don't just like walk into any neighborhood without like research or purpose, because like they truly could have just came and been like, we are just here to take over, but like they invested in the place they were coming into. So like, shout out again.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, that was in part because it was Denzel's production company. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of why they were like, we're going to do more than just coming in this neighborhood and film, but we're actually going to reinvest and like, again, renovate this church that's being so kind to let us use it, and its members who are, working as extras. The choir was the Georgia Mass Choir. Yeah, it's just like they had a lot of people come in and witness this film being made. But thank you guys for joining me today. I'm glad, Yvette, that you are walking away with a new view of this movie.
Yeah. I'm glad to have watched it again. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm glad, Sonny, you finally got to see it in full, beginning to middle end. That's wonderful. It was wonderful.
Do it again.
We'll do it again this holiday season. Before we go, Yvette, do you have anything you'd like to share with us? Where can we find you on social media? This is coming out in December. If you have anything going on in December, let us know.
You can find me on Facebook at Because of Love Health and Wellness, and on Instagram at Because of Love _HWC. I will just keep an eye out for all kinds of tips and tricks for maintaining your health and well-being, especially managing your stress, because at this time of year, Christmas, there's so much going on and we have so many demands that we believe we have to do everything for everybody, just like my poor preacher on The Preacher's Wife. We need to make sure to refocus and to take care of ourselves and then be a part of each other's lives, because when you are doing that, then your joy is going to expand and everything will be taken care of. You just got to have faith and belief. So follow me on social media and learn, how to manage some of these things. I'm here to help.
Get these wellness tips, y'all. Get these wellness tips. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Fade to Black Podcast. We are the Fade to Black. If you just type in Fade to Black, you're going to find a different podcast. We are the Fade to Black Podcast, and let us know what you think about this episode. And as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a homie about this episode, tell your enemy about this episode, tell your coworker, your daddy, your cousins, your neighbor, tell your dog. Who knows? The dog might log on while you're not around, like it's Toy Story. And let us know. They sure will. Let us know what you thought about this episode. And, we'll be back next week with a new episode. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.